Hello, I am your new favorite, JJ Caballero, usually joined by the lovely Goins, Casey Goins, and this is Mono Stereo Video, a podcast about movie music. I'm a songwriter, producer, DJ Walt Casey's, an amazing hairstylist and salon owner, and we love movies, and this is the perfect excuse to talk about music and movies. And I'm by myself today. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by... Yeah, solo dolo episode this week. And it is in preparation for the episodes coming up. It's a little bit of a primer to next week's episode. So today, I'm going to do a little bit of a primer on Wendy Carlos. Wendy Carlos is an American composer and pioneer and all-around badass, and also is pretty hard to reach. It has been kind of reclusive, still around, but also people haven't kind of like publicly. I don't think people have in any sort of limelight or anything have heard from her or seen her in a few years. I think maybe here and there. She's got a website which I'm taking a lot of information from for this series. And that was last updated like early 2000, so like early 2008 or something, so almost 20 fucking years ago, something like that. She's in her 80s right now. And because of how like reclusive and stuff she is, I don't even know if she'd be cool with us doing this series. So we're going to do it on the sly. I mean, in a way, we're going to do it on the sly. We're going to do the series without much, with what we have, with most of the stuff from her own words, because that's who I trust. There's going to be some like the first soundtrack that we are covering is A Clockwork Orange. So we're covering 3 soundtracks for this next series. A Clockwork Orange, we're covering the Shining soundtrack, and we are covering the original Tron soundtrack. All 3 done by Wendy Carlos. The Clockwork Orange soundtrack, the original has some of her selections in there along with some other orchestral accompaniments. We're going to mainly talk about her album, and that was hard to find. I'll go into it more on that episode, I think. I'm going to talk with Casey about it too a little bit more, but just, it's 3 minutes into this episode, and I just want to say thank you very much for listening to the episodes. Thank you very much for catching up with me and with Casey, and for joining in and downloading, previous episodes. If you're new to the podcast, like that's been awesome seeing that reaction and seeing new people come and new listeners jump on our day ones. Thank you for being here from day one. It's amazing. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you like what we do and you like to, I don't know, you like it. Just sometimes it feels like you're speaking into the ether. Like right now, I'm in front of my computer holding this microphone, just talking. I'm just talking, and I got a little bit of notes in front of me, but it can feel like you're talking to no one, like no one cares sometimes, or even in the middle of episodes, sometimes you get like bogged down by certain things or certain ways. And when I'm editing, it's something like, sometimes it's like, man, who's even going to listen to this? I like this and I have a good time laughing, but we do it for you guys, and we do it for ourselves as well. We love this stuff, and I have a good time doing it, and we're going to continue doing it as long as we love it, and as long as you guys are loving it as well. So thank you very much. Thank you to the international listeners. I don't know how you guys get a hold of us. I don't know where you guys hear about us from, but I mean, maybe let us know. Maybe reach out to us, follow us on whatever social media that you can find us at. Mainly, we're on Instagram. I mean, I kind of just want to stay on Instagram. I'm not really a TikTok person. And even at that, I think it might be getting banned in the US at some point. Whatever, I don't know. But, and Facebook is a place where I keep up to date with my older relatives. X, Twitter, whatever on that bullshit. So Instagram seems to kind of be chill. We don't have a Threads. I was on Threads for a little bit, but there's a bunch of pro Zionist propaganda on there, especially post October 7th, and I just had to get off, and it was it was ugly looking at that. I'm still going to share the same links that I shared last week to help the people in Palestine, the Palestinian people, to help the people out there, the young people and the professors and stuff protesting on college campuses all around the U.S. If there's a way that I could post something, all the campuses and people out around the world that are also protesting this, I'm going to do it. And we need to keep raising awareness of this stuff. We need to keep sharing these links. We need to keep sharing the information that is being blocked by so many pieces of mainstream media. I hate to fucking sound like that guy, but okay, so just this is also I guess a sidebar if you want to listen a bit, but you can fast forward probably a little bit, probably like a minute or so, or 2 minutes or what have you. But as I'm recording today, the Hamas, the representatives for Hamas have seemingly agreed to Israel's ceasefire deal or whatever deal was on the table. And now Israel's playing oh, I don't know if it's good enough that you agree with that. It might be a trick. So they're still continuing the invasion of Rafah. Rafah is the last fucking stronghold for as many people as are left in the Gaza Strip. As many Palestinian people as are left. It's the last. Where the fuck do they go? They're sending them leaflets. They're fucking texting them or messages, whatever, of people to evacuate. Where the fuck are they fucking evacuating to? This is the fucking place that they were evacuated to, and now there's an invasion there. There's airstrikes happening right now as I'm talking on this microphone, and it's all bullshit. Such bullshit. I don't know, man. It's. And the U.S. just keeps aiding and abetting this, and any sort of way to tamp down all this stuff, it doesn't. Shit's very real, and it's very depressing, and it's very tough out there. And I hate to bring that up. How can I say it? I don't hate to bring it up in these contexts, because this is our platform, and this is my platform, and this is the platform I established for this type of stuff. I've always said, and if you've listened to previous episodes, hard lefty here. A lot of these solo episodes end up being leftist agitprop, and this is no less than that. So, as well, we talk about taboo subjects all the time. We highlight wonderful things about people. We highlight a big part of why we're progressive leftists and stuff, especially in terms of the execution of art. And in terms of, culture being established, and you can't establish a culture without, being progressive, trying to push against the grain, trying to push against the conservative constructs that are binding American citizens and that keep getting tighter. And it's just there's always an oppressor, an oppressive state that's ready and willing to take advantage of you. And if we're the only source of news or what have you that you have for this and stuff, so be it. But I also suggest do follow Al Jazeera, follow Democracy Now! Those are two very reliable news resources that are very middle of the road. There is more progressives and stuff, but at the same point, they tell you a different side of the story than what the mainstream news is telling you. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, fucking all those news nations, all that bullshit out there, all that propaganda shit. It's rough out there, man. It's fucking rough out there. All right. So this, I feel like this series is also important because of the fact that Wendy Carlos is a trans woman and has lived as a woman since the 60s She got her operation in the 60s, like 68, you know. She I don't want to dead name her, and I don't want to bring up her dead name. That's something that I feel is it's a little rude. It's a little rude to the person who had to live that part of their life in turmoil to not be acknowledged as the person they have been, you know? So anyways, Wendy grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Her parents were like working class people as well. I believe, you know, her parents were working class people. They had, you know, regular jobs, but they were also musicians in their own right. They loved the arts and such. And, you know, this is, you know, how she grew up. From a few of the articles I've read, even one article. So there's an article that I'm gleaming a lot of information from too, that I'll probably talk about in the Clockwork Orange episode as well. But this article was an interview with Wendy Carlos as she came out as transgendered, and it was done by somebody at Playboy, and it was done in the, I want to say 60s. I want to say it was done here. Let's see what year it was. It was, I believe, I want to say, honestly, it could have been the 80s. It was probably also after The Shining. Yeah. Arthur Bell during 1978 and 1979. Okay, cool. 1978, 1979. Like, this article was very informative because it's a lot of Wendy's own words. Wendy describing her experience growing up as a trans child, she describes like body dysmorphia to a T, what we now know as like body dysmorphia, and it seems as though she's had it. She struggled it, you know, since she was a child, and she in the interview and in another article, it talks about her like she got along with girls better, things as such, and she always grew up knowing that there was something else about her and something different, and it was a lot of struggles on that. But as well, the article focuses mainly on that and mainly on her transness, and the interviewer isn't pulling any punches to the point where it seems as though sometimes like the interviewer is like exploiting her. The interviewer, I don't know, it does seem like he's putting her on display, and like yes, he's addressing the quote unquote taboo of it all, right? But he's also not acknowledging the part of her that makes her amazing and that actually differentiates her fucking art. And she keeps trying to bring it up as he's going through this article, but he always tries to bring it back. Like, nah, I got you now. Like, it's kind of bullshit. Like, very informative. I'm glad that Wendy was able to express herself and speak her piece. But as well, I don't know if there's anything else after this that, you know, it was as in depth. I don't think there was anything as in depth as this. So I'm not going to share this article. Like, there's several things I'm not going to share on this during this series. One, I'm not going to share this article because it's a dick move. You guys can go look for it on your own. But I feel like that, like, fuck the author, you know. I read it so that I could get what I could get from it, and I could see who Wendy was. And Wendy is an amazing person, and she went through a lot. She rose to prominence because of her interests in electronic music. And she went to... I'm probably going to... Okay, so she went to Brown University, pursued a hybrid major of music and physics, and then she earned a master's in music composition at Columbia University. She studied with Otto Lunig and Vladimir Yusuchevsky at the Electronic Music Center in the U.S. The Electronic Music Center was at Columbia. And she also befriended Bob Moog, yep, that Moog, and helped him develop the Moog synthesizer. She helped him, like, she was the person to, like, express that this polyphonic synthesizer needed a way in an envelope. Like JJ from the future here. I believe the first iterations of the first like Moog synthesizers and stuff were monophonic. My bad, but I believe Wendy was also integral in talking about that. I will expand on this in further episodes. But now back to me. To shape the sound. She was very integral in the way that we view like oscillation and the shaping of sound today in a physical state, in the way we make music. She's very influential in that. And that's why we're doing this. It's also one because we want to highlight the fact that a creator of this magnitude could be the person that she is, which is amazing. Two, we fucking love the three soundtracks. I mean, three also, like, I thought there were more. I thought she did more soundtracks. I honestly thought she had this whole fucking catalog, but it was just these three fucking masterpiece works. And even at that, Clockwork Orange, we'll get into it. I'm doing this episode on the side because there's a lot to get into on Clockwork Orange, and the movie's so expansive, and the music and how it moves and grooves, and Casey's seen it so many times, so we got a lot to talk about there. But I'm trying to shove this in here so that you guys understand that Wendy did this shit and switched on Bach. She teamed up with her friend Rachel Elkland, who was also a composer and also a musician and stuff. They lived together. They had a studio together. They were platonic partners, I believe. I don't know if it ended up being anything romantic or anything like that. But Rachel Elkland is also a person in this realm and like Wendy's guy in all this shit, and switched on Bach, which I was listening to today, as a masterpiece. It's so cool. It's Bach, but it is all done with the way that she shapes, the Moog synthesizer. Switched on Bach also had she also released a Switched on Bach 2, but let's see. So the tracks on Switched on Bach, she does Sinfonia to Cantata number 29. She does Air on a G string, two-part invention in F major, two-part invention in B flat major. She does two-part invention in D minor. Let's see, she also does Jesu Joy of Man's Desiring, Prelude, and Fugue number 7 in E flat minor. This is from the Well-Tempered Clavier. And she also, the second side, she does Prelude to Fugue number 2, Chorale Prelude, Washat Uf. She does Brandenburg's Concerto number 3 in G major. The Brandenburg Concerto number 3, the first movement, second. So at the end, she runs through the Brandenburg Concerto. Oh, that's right. She did do that. Yeah, that was fucking awesome. It's an awesome album. Thing is, as important as Switched on Bach was, and as widespread as that was, there's no, none of her shit's on streaming. I mean, Tron and The Shining, a couple of songs on The Shining are streaming. We had to patchwork all this together from listens on YouTube and then The Shining 2. I'll tell you guys how to listen to The Shining. That one I'll probably put in the link in the bio. But she didn't let her stuff be put on the streaming. So I'm gonna update Casey with this. I'm still gonna run through some of these facts on this next episode, just to catch Casey up as well. But yeah, her stuff isn't. So I listened to this on a SoundCloud link that I dug up on the internet. So I'm gonna say this too. That's how we found the next album for the next episode. There's a Wendy Carlos Clockwork Orange album out there that has all the stuff that she did for Clockwork Orange. We'll go into it about that, but that's the main one that we're going to cover. That one was also, her stuff is kind of lost to time, and it's scary to think that she's in her 80s and she'll pass, and I wonder, it's hard to find this stuff on even Amazon and stuff. The Switched on Bach and the Clockwork Orange for her soundtrack, the CDs are $50, and they're like collector's items now, and it's amazing. I love that has become some of that. That's cool. That's nice. But also, like, holy shit, like this is, we're losing this stuff in real time. You know what I mean? Like that's why we want to talk about this stuff. We want to help preserve the legacy of it and talk about it, and give an honest opinion of what these things felt like and in that moment, and just because years from now, who knows if SoundCloud's going to even exist, and if those two things. So as well, I'm not going to share those albums from SoundCloud because Wendy Carlos and her estate are known to shut that shit down. They're known to take down anybody that's reposted anything. That's why it's very hard to find stuff of hers on YouTube, on other, it's pretty hard to dig out there. I suggest you do some digging and know that there is people on SoundCloud that have reposted that stuff. Wendy, if you're listening and that stuff's up there and I'm not sharing it, no, I wanted to listen to this. I'm also like, these things are also things that like I'm on the lookout for. So anytime we dig for records, anytime I search online, I'm gonna keep up to date. I think maybe after this episode, like maybe approaching into the Clockwork Orange episode, we'll probably have a copy of the Clockwork Orange being sent to us. So, but no, we do want to support however we can. If there's anybody in your life that can set up any sort of direct store for you, we're so down. We are so down to do whatever you want. We're big fans. And I'm directly addressing Wendy Carlos now. I guess the ego on me is like thinking that she's gonna listen to this. When I'm even glad that even like my friends listen to this. That's fucking awesome. Adrian, shout out to you. Thank you for listening. We always shout out Alexis. Thank you for listening. Man, who else should we shout out? Like, reach out to us if you want, let us know who's listening out there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's, so Wendy's stuff is hard to find. They didn't agree with streaming terms and stuff as this stuff posted, but this switched on Bach, amazing. It's really a masterpiece, and it does something to Bach that, I mean, even now, and it was the first electronic album that like got any sort of notoriety that hit above 1 million album sales and things like that. Like it's wild. It's wild. She also did the Well-Tempered. Her discography is the Well-Tempered Synthesizer, Sonic Seasonings. Clockwork Orange was in 1972. Switched on Bach 2. She did a By Request. I believe By Request she did some I wonder if that's the one where she did the Beatles songs. Maybe. Switched on Brandenburgs, Digital Moonscapes. She did some for Beauty and the Beast, Secret of Synthesis. She did a Peter and the Wolf the soundtrack thing with Weird Al. Another Switched on Bach in 2000. Wow. Tales of Heaven and Hell in 1998. So she did the 3 soundtracks that we're talking about, as well as Rediscovering Lost Scores Volume 1 and 2. Those 2 were released later, and they were also in like 2005, I believe. And they were also the releases in which the missing shining pieces were. We'll get into that, and I'll dig into that when we get there. But that's where that stuff comes from, and that's where a lot of this was pieced together when we shared, like, on the Shining stuff for sure. There's like a re-release of something that's out there, and there's a link to a YouTube on it. I'll link you guys. That'll be all there. That's yeah. Wendy is an amazing person. I think I saw somebody post that she also pitched in music to the soundtrack for Possession, the 80s horror film with Sam Neill. If anybody's got information on that, like, let me know. @ JJCABALLERO on Instagram, or Monostereo Video on Instagram. Let me know. That'd be cool to know, because in my research I didn't find that. I didn't find that. Yeah, totally did not find that. So I don't know where that was said, but that if that's true, that's fucking awesome because I love that movie also, and that she did that, cool. Or if she did that, cool. Yeah, that's a little primer. Like, I mean, that's in no way any sort of deep dive or anything like that. I'm here to let you know that Wendy Carlos is an awesome composer. I believe she's still doing stuff, but not like, it's not publicly. She's an artist, man. Like, you don't have to fucking release shit to be an artist or be a musician. Like, you could just make. That's what she's probably doing at home and doing what she needs to do. So we're not gonna post those. We'll post what we can. Bear with us. Tron, yeah, that's out there. We could post that. Whatever's out there for The Shining, we could post that. Unfortunately, A Clockwork Orange, I want you guys to look for that. I want you guys to dig around for it, and you will find it on SoundCloud. You will, and totally listen to that. It's out of order. The track listing is out of order, but we're gonna talk about it. You'll be rewarded for your efforts for sure. All right. Last, before I leave off today for this real short mini episode, I mean, two things. We watched Baby Reindeer, which we'll probably talk about. I'll probably talk about with Casey. That was wild. Baby Reindeer was a wild ride. It's on Netflix. It's a series. Watch it. It was pretty good. Second thing is that, I don't know, I'm going to probably recap with Casey, but in the next few episodes, we will be talking to you, and you'll be able to find a link to our new Patreon. So I'm gonna do Patreon a little differently. I'm gonna have tiers for donation, and I'm also going to have a final tier for extra stuff. But the extra stuff isn't like I really don't want to. I don't want to paywall episodes. I myself personally pay for a few Patreons and those are paywalled content, watch-alongs with certain creators, little videos of the podcast, little extras here and there, which is all good and dandy. But I do feel that I feel sometimes that it's like, man, if every one of your listeners was able to listen to this with me, and like just the conversation that could be had about that, just to access everybody have access to that'd be amazing. And just letting people in on things. And I understand, like, yes, like we are an organization here that does need to, we got bills to pay. We got things going on. This podcast, it's a lot of DIY effort. And there's a lot going on in it, a lot of sweat equity. But I mean, there's costs also. And Casey and I, we do this for the love of it. But also it'd be cool to kind of like, if you guys can help us in any way. Like that's the thing. So that's why I'm doing some donation tiers. That third tier, I haven't figured it out just yet. It's gonna be semi-content based, but mainly I'm going to figure out a way to host like monthly dance parties online, monthly DJ set, live streams, and I think that last paid tier will give people access to that continuously. I'm trying to figure out the right platform. It might be Discord, which is rad because Discord, I can also open some channels on there for everybody to discuss things that are going on and stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, let us know. But so we're planning on moving forward with different kinds of episodes. I do want to do watch-alongs. It's a different type of watch-along. I'll let you guys know what it's going to be. And as well, like, I still want to continue these Monster of the Week episodes and maybe open up the format of it. Like maybe just talk about stuff that we're not talking about within the confines of, within the confines of music and movies, yes, but maybe it's just some extra stuff that we wanted to talk about. So that's stuff that I was thinking about paywalling, and after much thought, like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel that it'd be fun for everybody just to experience that. So this Patreon, there will be 2 tiers of donation if you can. And if there's any way you can help, if you're able to, you can, if you want to and can, lock in for like a monthly donation. There's going to be 2 tiers there to do that. And we'd be super grateful for that. And we get to continue doing this. Our costs, like, kind of, it helps us balance things out. Yes. And you know, like, I'm hoping it can help us, like, it can allow us to do more. You know, I want to do different things. I want to do like live shows. I want to do maybe like a live stream and somehow, but like my equipment, like, it is what it is right now. You know, like, our equipment is what it is right now. We're working people. We do what we do. But yeah, like, that we're gonna try to operate in that sense. See how that works for us. See how it works for you guys. Because we want this to help us, but we also want to be of service to you mainly. We also want to keep doing this. We don't want to run ourselves into the ground doing this. And I fucking hate ads, and I fucking hate commercials. I don't know if there's ads on this, like on Spotify when you're listening or anything like that. That is not me. If there is, that is not me, guys. Like, I am not putting those ads in there. I am not getting money from Blue Chew. I am not getting money from fucking, what else? Who else is out there? Fucking the Squarespace, some mattress company. We're not getting any of that money. And, you know, I don't know if it's like the punk rock part of me or whatever the fuck, but I don't, like, there hasn't been a company that I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to take money from and tell people about. In this space that I've seen yet that I want to, you know, maybe if we find some locals and we can spread word and be sponsored by locals, that'd be awesome. Or if you guys have something that you want us to spread word about, maybe you could donate, and that's how you contribute to what we do. I mean, your donation isn't going to also be faceless, and we're going to get to you and reach out to you about that and say our thanks personally and things like such. I've been having a lot of back and forth with this, which is why I'm rambling about it. But know that there is something coming. Also, getting shirts designed, getting little merch. So there's another way that you can be involved in it with us in that. And there's another way that we could get some help in this. So, you know, all this said, thank you very much, guys. You can find us on all the social medias. Well, mainly just Instagram at Monostereo Video @_JJCABALLERO. That's me. www.jjcaballero.com leads you to all my links. Look in the description of this episode for all the links to help out the protesters, to help out the people of Palestine. Spread the word. Free Palestine. Fucking ACAB. Fuck the Zionists. And with that, listen to you later.